action.
Good evening. How are you all doing? I'm Ahura Z. For those of you that do not know me, for those of you that know me, I'm Ahura Z. How are you all doing this evening? I hope everybody is well. It's cold out there. I hope that everyone has a place to go where you can be safe and warm, cared for. Now tonight's dinner, I kind of changed. I was going to do a Greek chicken, but instead I decided to do steak this week. I'm going to do a sirloin tip meal. Now, what this will consist of is sirloin tips done the way that Ahura Z does them, and then with broccoli and cauliflower as a side, and baked potatoes. Now, when it comes to your baked potato, you can do it any way that you like. I know that a lot of people like to use sour cream, chives, and all that good stuff. Me, I'm really very simple. I'll use butter, and some green onion. But you can use whatever you'd like. Now, before we get into all of this, I'd like to ask, how are you all doing? Everybody okay? I hope that you're all okay. I know that this week was a little troublesome, but it's Friday. Hopefully you have a good weekend, and then you can begin a new week better. As I said before, the meals that I make, I don't like negotiating how much salt goes in different meals. It's better if you just, if I just use the meals the way that they are, because I use absolutely no salt, except for naturally occurring salt, of course. The only salt that will be in this meal is from the meat. The butter that I use is no salt butter. Broccoli, cauliflower, green onions, potatoes, they all speak for themselves. This sirloin is going to be a little bit different because I like doing things a little bit different, and I hope that you all can appreciate that. This I basted in tomato paste, add a few seasonings. Some of the seasonings you can add is just sage. You don't want to add too much stuff, some allspice, and I used the juice of maraschino cherries because I like it, and it has no sodium in it, and it's pretty good. It kind of sweetens the meat a little more. But we're going to add something else, a special ingredient that I'm not going to tell you about right now, but I'll tell you about a little later as we're actually getting ready to cook. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that like using lots of oil to cook their steak. I am not one of them. I use just a little bit of oil to cook my steak, and I'll set the heat up fairly high, not too high, but I like doing that now. Some of you can just take notes. I know that people like the steak in different ways. I'm going to be making the steak tonight. Some of it well, some of it medium. Of course, my wife likes it raw, but I have her setting aside so that I can cook hers. But I basted this for a while, and it looks really good. One of the things you want to do is to your base, make sure that there's enough water, because you know what beef does is it's really interesting. If you're going to add things to your base, if you have water, you let it sit for a while, it kind of puffs up with the water, and then you can use that to actually cook, and then cook the water right out of it, and add a few other things to flavor your meat. As I said, I like using ground sage, because ground sage gives it a very smoky flavor. And I also like using clove to open up the flavor just a bit, okay? I use no salt, I use black pepper, and for steak, unless I'm barbecuing or I'm making something very saucy, I don't make it extremely complicated. We'll just wait a little bit for that to heat up real good. Now over here, as you can see, I have my broccoli that's steaming, okay, real nicely. And we have pre-cooked our baked potatoes, a little hot still, but you can do that. I only did that for the show, so it didn't take like 45 minutes to an hour to bake the potatoes, you know. But yeah, that sounds good. And it down just a little bit so it doesn't cook too fast. I don't really want it to cook too fast, and you notice I'll take it right out of here. Those look See, they're nice and fat. Now, if you're thinking that, aren't you going to get a lot of water from that? The answer would be yes. And I mean to do that because the water is the juice that I put together. I use a lot of fruit juices in meat. It's just because I like it, and it tastes really very good. And around these parts, I'm known for the way I flavor things. So I just flavor them the way that I see fit. When you're growing up and being the oldest child of a big family, a lot of times I had to do the cooking. So I had to come up with things that were very, very interesting in order for the younger ones to eat. Because sometimes I missed terribly. Yeah, well, it happens. It happens. But most times I would come up with the flavors interestingly enough that they would actually like them. So I'm going to add a little more of my black pepper there. There you go. I like, fortunately I didn't sneeze this time. I like experimenting with different things, different herbs, different spices to make things very, very interesting. And hopefully the people that I am serving will eat them. Yeah, just a touch of ginger in this. Now, there's some things that I put in the baste, and there's some things I do not. I wait until I'm actually cooking. Ginger is good, very good to use with steak, but don't use too much of it, okay? You don't want your steak to be bitter. And fortunately and unfortunately, that bitter taste that ginger has can kind of take things over. Yeah, that's nice. It even smells good. It smells really good. Okay. Now this is a meal that doesn't really take a long time to do if you don't count the potatoes or the broccoli or anything. It doesn't take a really long time. Let's see, that's looking very good. All right, I'm going to turn that down. Now, if you notice the steak, it cooks pretty quickly, especially after it's been basted for a while. And for those of you that like eating your steak, again, there's no salt in it, but I promise you one thing. There is no salt in this, other than the salt that is in the meat naturally, but it will be full flavored. That's the whole point of doing this. Now, in my family, we like things a little spicy, so of course I use things like paprika, I use things like cayenne and red pepper. Oh, there's that black pepper. I'll stand over here and do it. Yeah, that's nice looking. Now, I'm not going to cook that too much, but I'm going to cook it so it's enough. I like my meat well done. Everyone else likes it medium rare. Others will like it well done like myself. My wife can just bite the cow. It's quite amazing, really. Now, once I do it on this side, here's my secret ingredient. And you all can kind of look at this and decide for yourself. This is what I pureed earlier. This is pineapple. Pineapple goes beautifully on this while it's cooking. Absolutely beautiful. Now notice that's pretty juicy and saucy and all that good stuff. In a little bit I'll pour that out. For a time, I was using molasses, but for this show, because I want you all to eat healthy and I want you to make sure that you're not worried about your food or your salt, we're not going to negotiate, so I don't use molasses for this, nor do I use just plain old sugar for this. But I use things that are very sweet because I like the sweet taste in the meat. Now, as you can see, that is pretty saucy, isn't it? Look at that.
Mara says, yes, secret ingredient, so tasty.
All right, I'm gonna get a bowl. Who's that?
Mara.
Mara.
Guess who?
Yes. This is for Mara and all those people that believe that pineapple goes on pizza. No, it don't. But that's okay, because it does go on steak. There we go. Look at that. And now,
Belinda says, oh, pineapple sounds tasty. I'll have to try it.
yeah, it is actually. You'll love it. Just cook it right in there. Yeah.
Rebecca Flores says, yum.
Yeah, it's really quite good. You don't understand now how good it is until you actually taste it. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of cilantro because I like using cilantro.
Dried cilantro.
Mm-hmm. Ground or flakes, whatever you call it. Yeah.
Tim Han asks, what cuts of steak are those?
These are sirloin tips, and they already have them cut when you go. Like, let's say we just got this at our local supermarket, and you go to yours. Or if you have a butcher that will cut things to your liking, just ask him for the long sirloin tips, and he'll do it for you, I'm pretty sure. Just add some more pineapple there. Yeah. You smell that, Kazi?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That smells beautiful. In the words of that prolific chef, John Oliver, yeah!
You mean, yo.
I had to say that.
Uncle Roger, shout out.
Alrighty then. So this looks good. It's like medium right now, which is pretty much to me raw, but to everybody else, they can deal with it. Sonari's probably squirming in her seat right now over me cooking the steak too much for her. But that's okay. I got yours set aside, sweetie. Yeah. Okay. I need to dust this again. Just one more time. The clove. Can you smell that? It smells awesome.
I just smell the pepper.
I didn't put any pepper in it yet.
No, the black pepper.
Yeah. Okay, I forget another thing here. I have to wait for the black pepper, because the pineapple has to be in there. Now, just a touch, since that pineapple is settling in there. This ground cinnamon. There you go. That's lovely. Okay, we got our broccoli here. The cauliflower takes a lot longer, and I probably should have started that earlier. But if you want both cauliflower and broccoli, you can start that earlier. This, of course, is parsley because I like parsley.
Maven says it looks good. Hi, Maven.
Hello, Maven. How are you? Good to see you, or hear you, or read Fan Bing Bing's going to help us out here. What I mean by that is this is my signature cleaver.
And Marie Gadbois says, yum.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Anne Marie.
One more dose of pineapple. One more dose. In fact, I'm gonna put it on everything. Yeah. I'll cook for a second. Just gonna flip that kindly.
Awesome.
There you go. It smells really good. I'll cooperate. I'll use my hand.
Kim McDonald said, just got my package delivered with bread and almond cookies. Oh no.
Awesome. Hope you enjoy it. Yes.
Oh, for those of you that don't know, ono is Hawaiian for delicious. Sorry. I didn't want it to sound like, oh no. No, it's, oh no, tasty.
I'm sure they can figure it out.
Disclaimer, no, not everybody knows. Not everybody knows.
I think it comes in the way they wrote it. They didn't understand it. Alrighty then. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to plate some meat. I say that's medium well. And I have to do this once more, just because I know that Kazi's going to want to taste it.
Kazi's busy.
Take my red pepper flakes. Back up. Dusted with some cinnamon. And sage. Some dusting. Alrighty then. I'll turn this down. Alright, using metal and Teflon, bad thing. This is for well done. Turn that off for now. Oh, that was good. Back up. These are pretty hot. Now, I'll leave this up to you all to do it the way that you want to. Put it on here. Green onion. Parsley for the steak. You can all do this the way that you want to. you have your full meal.
Can you, no,
Almost
Lower.
no salt at all.
can you put it,
Okay,
I need to,
just move back. I hope you all enjoyed this. I had a fun time making it. Beautiful. I hope you all enjoy this. Now, next week I'll have another thing to cook, and I'll direct you all on how to do it. It's fire's off, so it doesn't matter. It'll cook the way that I like it. As I said before,
Ryan says, yum, be right down, ha 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 ha. And Marie Gadbois says, that looks amazing, I bet it smells good.
oh, it does. It smells amazing from here. And you know, you season things after it's done the way that you want to season them. Okay, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. As I said before, I will do my best for you. Okay, you're safe with me eating. Okay, you're always safe with me eating, and you're safe eating my food. Okay, and my recipes. I don't put salt in anything. I know that it's hard to find things at the grocery store to eat, especially if you are at the restaurant to eat, especially if you want a full meal. So I will do this for you. And hopefully you get enough to eat. You'll get to eat great food. We'll have a great time. You'll learn how to cook some things if you don't know how to cook. For those of you that already know how to cook, I hope this is helpful. For those of you that do not, I hope this is helpful. So, until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful time. I hope that you eat really, really good. Try to stay positive, okay? I know that we're in the middle of a global thing here, but don't let that cut you off from being good people, okay? I'm Ahura Z for Hold the Salt with Ahura Z. Oh, one more thing. Remember, if you want any of our bread recipes or pancakes, because I'll be putting out the bread recipes very, very soon. And if you want to know the recipes that I'm cooking, what goes into them, you can let us know at www.dailybreadlowso.com, lowsodium.com. Okay, or you can just comment on the videos that you see. And if you have any questions, you can also comment on the videos. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible and let you know what goes into everything. Until next week, be good. I'm Ahura Z. See you next week.